clear through Discord, but whatever.
Fix it on
I'm
your
ready
end.
to go. I'm ready to go.
Oh,
I'm ready to go right now.
I'll use this
Got
other
held up
monitor
wrapping
to
this
look.
fucking PlayStation. It's just gonna take a long time.
Probably won't take. All right, somebody needs to check on you.
No, it's slowly getting there on the other monitor.
My other monitor is currently occupied at the moment. It has our live stream over here.
Mine too.
We're doing VGA podcasts. What? We're talking about VGA cables?
Yes, VGA cables is
Oh,
exactly what we're
VGA
talking about.
cables
It's
are
up.
getting us-
Yeah,
getting
I heard
past
sound.
far too long.
How's everybody sound, Roger?
I just want to point out somebody talking about my multiple monitors. All my monitors combined don't add up to somebody's prop they have sitting beside.
Everybody sounded fine.
I don't know who could have something like just ridiculously priced.
I was gonna say, how much you drop on that, Keith? It sounds like it was as much as a desktop computer plus a couple monitors, maybe.
Maybe.
It's really absurd. It's quite obscene.
It is. It's quite a shame. Could have easily just went out and bought him a pre-built computer for $600.
Or you got that Tifa though.
Oh, I thought y'all were talking about the Mega Man up top.
You can't fuck with statue. I guess you could. Keith was like $700. I can do what I want to Ezio.
He's got a point, but that's very creepy though. But I mean,
People are watching.
if only
Well, I guess
Keith
you
had
can
went
chat.
out and decided to maybe buy a desktop computer. He's got the perfect room for it too.
Overrated, Terry.
All right, fine. A monitor that will allow him to see how great 4K is on a smaller screen. Yeah, there you go. Better.
I like the
I felt
silence on that.
Yeah, I felt like I did that stupid meme thing for no reason.
All right. I think
Leave us
It's
off.
all
Keith.
working.
I
Give us the
believe so.
structure that you provide. Without Keith, look what happened. We devolved into nothing.
All right, I
Wait,
think
so-
we're great.
We're waiting for you to structure us, please, Keith.
I was waiting to hear that the YouTube thing was live.
It's been
It's been live for about a couple minutes now.
Yeah,
The monitors,
all the
tied
profane
up.
things I said is went out into the world.
Oh, your monitor is tied up for a moment?
My other monitor is tied up. Yeah, so
It'd be a shame if you just happen to have another one next to that.
yeah, my other monitor has a Fire Stick plugged into it, and can't be using that right now.
Sounds like a TV to me.
TV monitor. I mean,
Granted,
Oh,
Roger
Lord.
wants to say something.
No, I just feel like we're slowly divulging into what makes a
I
TV
told
versus
you I'm waiting
monitor.
on Keith to corral us. He's failing.
all right. I guess we're ready.
Yeah,
I didn't realize I had all that there.
we've been live for 3 minutes now.
Oh,
So,
now
I
it's
mean-
gone.
3 minutes. Are we waiting for the 5?
Oh, you can, if you're ready to go ahead and start, you can start whenever. I just wanted to give it some time to kind of register that it was up.
Okay.
So essentially, if you got the notification, I think we're straight.
I actually didn't, which is
I
weird.
got one.
So
I got
we all
fancy
wanna just
football
take a-
notification, but
Take a second to realize that Terry's been laying down tracks and not letting anybody know.
Not see
You
that.
see that microphone set up back there. Okay.
It's for
Okay,
Dang
Terry
it,
done
where's
got his
the
hands
other
on
mic
the
at?
fizzle pack. He going in.
I don't know where my other mic is. I
Nah,
took
he
a
looked
condensed.
Serious.
Probably burned it up with those fire bars, brother.
Roger, why'd you type in the chat?
What?
Said hello.
Shh.
It's from my condenser mic that's over there. I just don't have an actual thing. I can't think of what it's called.
the auto tune thing.
I don't know, brother.
Not the auto tune. It's whatever you. It's an XLR mic. I just don't have the XLR thing for it. A mix amp. There we go. I don't have a mix amp for it.
Mm.
So unfortunately, I'm stuck. And so I guess I had to go spend money on
excuse
that.
us. Excuse us, Audio King.
Audio king. All right, Keith. We're good when you are. Gaines and Roger are talking to each other in the YouTube chat. So
Mm. All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? The Almost in Full Color panel is back. I am joined by the founding fathers of this channel, Plucka, T the Best, and Yellow Squirrel, along with myself. I'm kind of mad that we're doing this live, actually. I mean, I don't know. Like, what if it's not ready to come out yet? Yeah, y'all see how I went? No. Okay. All right. Well,
we can't edit that out.
Oh, so. Damn, we lost Keith. No. Oh, man.
Keith's joke didn't go over well. Shit, I'm gone.
I know what happened. Now he has to turn his camera back.
Oh, man. Dang, we lost Keith for a second.
All right.
Oh, man.
So, after I was so rudely kicked out for my apparently terrible segue.
Who kicked him out?
This leads us to our first.
Get out.
So for those who don't know or have been living underneath a really weird rock, CD Projekt Red put out Cyberpunk 2077, but I'll actually take you back to the beginning. It was slated to come out in April. It got pushed back to September. It got pushed back to November. Then it got pushed back to December. So the game is heavily hyped. However, kept getting pushed back, and it finally was released on December 10th. And when it was released, a lot of you probably saw glowing reviews. However, those reviews were based off of high-end PC rigs that were able to support what the game was. With that being said, let's open up the floor. How do you all feel about companies? Well, because this isn't something that's very specific to them per se. Other companies have allowed their games to go out, but they've had restrictions on what you can capture, what you can't capture, what you can put out as a review and whatnot. So this kind of practice isn't exactly unheard of. However, given the egregious nature of what comes next, makes it, that much more scrutinized. So first and foremost, how do you all feel about companies that let people play the game early, but give them very specific spots that they can capture and very specific parameters of like hardware that they have to use?
I feel like games. Go ahead,
I thought it was like an earthquake happening on Terry's house.
No, I hit my desk. I hit my desk.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. I'll go first. Well, it depends. Like, I'm cool with it if you're upfront with it. So, like, if you're saying, like, hey, all these reviews or what, if you put out there, like, this is basically what we want you guys to do and the consumer knows it as well, then I'm fine with it. But the way CD Projekt Red went about it was real shady, to where a lot of YouTubers that got, that gets the early release copies or the early review copies, not release copies of the games, were saying that, yeah, the company told them, do not play those games on the PS4, the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One, or the whole Xbox One series, because they pretty much knew how bad it ran on those consoles, so they didn't want that divulged to the public before the game actually released. And if you provided a review of the game, you had to run it either, like you said, on PC, or you had to play it on the PS5 or the Xbox Series X in order to be legally allowed to release the content on your channel for the game. So the way they did it, I'm not a fan of it. And you could see, like, when the game came out, how much people were just shocked at how bad it was on a console that it was developed for. So that's one of the main points, is like the game that it was developed, the console was developed for, was the worst possible version of the game. And everyone who plays it, like, I know Keith plays on PS5 and people play on Xbox Series X, like, you're playing it on consoles that game was never developed for. Like, that's not even the next generation version. So it kind of seemed like when they kicked it back to December, that's what they were banking on. Like, let's just wait till people get their hands on the new consoles, get enough out there, and then hopefully that'll balance out the negativity that we know we're going to get from the PS4 and the Xbox One crowds. But then we know how gamers think. It's going to be like, yeah, it might run bad on those consoles, but bro, you need to get on the new hardware. Like, why are you still playing on PS4? You should be getting a PS5, or why are you still on Xbox One X? You should have the Series X, to kind of try to help them out. But I guess long story short, the way they went about it, I'm not a fan of it because it was dirty and they knew what they were doing.
I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I give it to people that actually had to review the game for not, well, they might have been signing on NDA, so they probably couldn't come out and be like, yeah, we
Yes,
can't
they are.
really
Yeah,
do that.
yeah, they signed NDAs.
I guess there's that. As far as like companies that do it, I mean, I guess they're trying to make sure that they have the best reviews out there as possible for a game that they're trying to sell. Shady, yes, but from a selling standpoint, I guess it makes sense. Not good though. I don't stand by it. At least like just allow people to review it on whatever they're going to review it, because eventually, regardless, the floodgates are going to open. People are going to get it on PlayStation, the early consoles, and the next thing you know, they're going to be like, "Yo, this is trash.
Yeah,
give me my money back." Or they're like, "Oh,
it's pretty bad on those consoles." Like,
yeah, I understand they gave out the whole, "Hey, if you get a PlayStation 5, you get a free upgrade." That wouldn't have been terrible if the next gen consoles wasn't just as bad. Like, it didn't sound like it ran even any better. I mean, a lot of people were like, "Yeah, once you get past like the glaring bugs, it is a good game," but it's like bugs are still there, and they're pretty much staring you in the face.
Like
Yeah,
Game said, still the old version of the game. It's not even the next gen version yet.
That's true.
yeah, I mean, the next gen consoles just really got the power to kind of muscle through the issues of the old consoles. Maybe I know me and Roger was talking about it. Maybe it was due to the old consoles having a hard drive. They just couldn't load up the assets and all the textures and stuff fast enough, because that seems to be outside of frame rate. Was one of the main gripes about the old console version is you would literally walk up to somebody who looks like a polygon, like the actual Pokemon or Porygon. And then like 2 seconds later is, all the definition would just pop in, and it's like, okay, like that's odd, and that seemed to be pretty rampant in the game. But like I said, it definitely was dirty. But according to like Terry said, I know why they did it, but that just it's still not right. But
I get, you gotta push sales. That's what it's about. I mean, you this game back three times, three times, I think.
it's been somewhere around there. It's been pushed back multiple times.
Yeah, like the first pushback, understandable. COVID hit right when they were about to drop it. What else could you do at that point? And then I'm guessing the second one probably was performance issues. They started seeing how bad it was for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox, and they're like, "Yo, we can't do it just yet." Eventually, they probably just got too much pushback from like higher ups, and they're just like, "Yo, we have to put this now." Like,
that's why they should have just said that. Like, that's what I mean by it was dirty. Like, they should have just came out and been like, on that last pushback that they kicked it back to December. They should have just been upfront and been like, "Hey, look, we've been kicking this down the road for a while because we've really been trying to make it work on the PlayStation 4, the 4 Pro, the Xbox One. We just can't. Like, our vision was too grand, and we've been trying and trying and trying, but it just won't happen. And, we don't want to give you a product that us ourselves aren't even proud of. Like, this isn't to our standards. So, we apologize to everyone who has the current gen consoles. But in order to give you the best game experience, we're only going to be releasing this version on the PS5. Now, is it the next generation version? But at least you'll be able to play like a really solid version, or at least your gameplay will be solid, until we can get the next generation version out next year. But again, they didn't do that.
so there was a game that did come out and say that, due to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox, they can't really put it out right now, and I can't remember the name of that game, so that's probably why they did it.
Yeah, I wish that's what they would have did for Cyberpunk. Just said we'll stick to the February one and not do the current release. And like I know showing it wouldn't have been a good idea. It would have been cool on my level because I would like to see like the airs and all and be like, okay, that's understandable. But I know that wouldn't have went well. But if they would have just pushed it back to February and then like did the statement like the other game Terry's talking about that we both can't think of, and just be like, hey, we never got it to work. We'll push it to February to do that, or do something where like, hey, the old gen versions isn't great, we can give you like a small fee to play it if you really want to, and then like counter it by saying, hey, when you get the new console, you could pay the price up. So say like $30 for the old one, and then if you get the PS5, you can pay 30 and get the full, and you didn't waste all your money there, and you could still play. Given like, hey, this isn't the ideal experience, stuff like that. But the review thing I wanted to mention is, I know people like to show the reviews. I know like Twitch, they'll get games early and show like they can only play like level 3 and 7, like if you had a level select or something. And I don't find that bad because they're trying to show the good parts of the game. And you see that a lot in the alphas. They'll definitely gear reviewers to be like, hey, these other levels still have bugs. We feel better on these to show what we're giving. So I don't feel that's dirty. But yeah, with the whole Cyberpunk, it was like trying to cover up, which seemed like it would have been better just in the long run, just to be like, hey, we're doing it just for next gen. Like, we're sorry, we can't really do it for the PS4.
Yeah, I think a lot of people been okay with it. I guess
You
just
would have
because of the
gripes,
current.
but I don't think it would be as bad because this just makes it look like, oh, we knew about this the whole time and we tried to do something to get people to spend money, and now we're backpedaling.
So much effort went into hiding it that you
Yeah.
knew that tells the story right there. It's like you knew exactly what this was because you put so much time and effort into making sure it didn't see the light of day until it released.
I'm about to say I felt more bad for like the developers that tried their best to make it work, but the higher ups were just like, no, get it done. It sucks for developers, you know, you see your game come out and you're just like, this is what I worked on, this is what I did. I wish it could have been better.
For years.
Like, you know, money talks. we gotta see exactly what y'all put out there so we can see if we can at least recoup something. Doesn't sound like that might be happening anytime soon.
Curious how the new versions will work though, because I don't know if there's been a lot of complaints on PC. I haven't played it, so I don't know.
I don't know.
Just bugs, like general.
I just
bugs.
know the cloud is the ideal experience. It sounds like.
Yeah, that was being pushed pretty hard. I mean, it was so weird to see that, like from all of the game reviewer companies that normally is not friendly towards Stadia at all, and they were just like, "Look, yo, if you got a PS4 or Xbox One, like you're better off playing on Stadia. Like Stadia is not as the experience isn't as good as the PS5 or the Xbox Series X, like from a graphical standpoint. But if you want the same frame rate and you want a really good experience, albeit slightly less than what the PS5 and the Xbox Series X is pushing out, Stadia is your best bet, and you can play it for free. You well, not the game, but you know, you don't have to invest anything in the Stadia. You just buy the game, and you can at least play it at higher than 15 frames per second. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind the whole practice of people playing it on a high-end PC or whatever the hardware requirements that they have. I mean, it's a standard practice, like you all said. Just it's a bad look when you got, you know, a body in the closet and you just are just trying to keep everyone from like looking at it, but it's gonna come out at some point. So, and it just seemed like money pretty much was the root of all evil for all this. Now we're starting to see some of the contract specifications about the game and all that. So yeah, it seemed like if it did not come out this year, they were going to face some financial ramifications that they were just trying to dodge. So, and unfortunately, I think their stocks like have gone down to the point to where they've lost like $1 billion in like net worth now. So yeah, probably. Well, I don't know what their ultimate ramification would have been financially for not putting it out this year, but it's just one of them tough things. That how much of this do you guys attribute to Sony and Xbox's fault for not having the the PS5s and the Series X's for people to get? Like, do you feel like if there were enough out there, this would be kind of a footnote, if you will?
Well, at first, I was saying yeah. I would say yeah because I was under the belief that production was the issue. Like I thought it really wasn't many like being made. Like I thought maybe like they pushed out like maybe 1 million, but apparently like they've been really pushing the consoles out like according to Sony, they made more PS5s than they made PS4s at launch. It's just maybe because of COVID on top of that, like people just are stuck home for the most part. And it's like, we really want these new consoles, and the demand is just through the roof. And then obviously you got the bots, going crazy. So people who really want a console can't even get it. So you're selling a ton of them, and then it's like, well, we can't really get them to our consumers because bots are buying them. And the other reason why I would say no for like it's their fault for that is the game was never developed for those consoles. Like those consoles being so powerful is just a band-aid for how bad that game was optimized. Those consoles just have the power and the SSD in order to just muscle through it and give you a good experience. But they weren't the intended platform to play that version on. It just was like, it almost makes it seem like if the PS5 and Xbox Series X had got pushed back, what would have happened to Cyberpunk? They probably would have kicked it back again, because there's no way that I think they would have just released it just on those consoles. Like, maybe they would have, because like you said, they had the financial ramifications if it kicked over into 2021. Maybe they would just had to say, well, screw it, we just got to. But that would have been interesting to see if maybe Sony and Xbox would say, well, maybe the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X comes out in February or January because, due to logistics and stuff, we can't meet the demand, or we don't have the stock that we really want. So, but I guess we'll never know because they got them out. So,
all right. So Sony has now taken the game completely off the store. Do you all see this as Sony's fighting piss poor quality, go them, or
no?
How do you all feel about that?
I think it's just policy. I think it seems like it's just a policy thing. If they receive a lot of like people just sitting there like, yo, this game sucks, we want our money back, I think at some point in time it's just like, hey, we have to take this off. Because
was No Man's Sky ever taken off?
Yes.
No.
It was?
No.
Yeah, No Man's Sky was taken off. Yeah, because everybody was asking for refunds.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if No Man's Sky wasn't, or I knew a lot of people asked for the refund, but I didn't know if that was ever taken off. But
yeah, they took it off, and then they were just like, yeah, now if you want a refund, you have to do something, they stop giving refunds back eventually. But No Man's Sky went through the same thing. They were pulled from Sony.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about to say Sony, I think, had to, because I mean they probably got backfire on it too, because you bought a game digitally and now they're probably like, Sony, why would you sell me this crap? So I mean, in the long run, it's just better to do that. And like I said, if it didn't run well, it just looks bad on Sony for offering a $60 game that doesn't run well. Like if it's like a $5 arcade, they probably wouldn't care as much. Not many people buying it, but just the backlash they got, it's probably just better on them just to like, let's close it off. Don't sell it. I don't know if they'll ever resell it back on the PS4 digitally or not.
They probably have. I mean, the reason why it was taken off first time is because essentially, I mean, they lied about a lot of things. But I mean, since then, they've gone through like 2.0, and apparently it's skyrocketing right now. Like, there's a lot more people.
I don't think it's playing any better on the PlayStation 4 though. Like
it wasn't taken off because of performance issues. It was taken off because of a lot of promises were made that weren't kept. So a lot of people were trying to get refunds because of that.
But I mean, the people asking for refunds were the people playing it on the older consoles. Like,
yeah, because they did the 2.0 on the older consoles though.
That's what I mean. But I'm saying that upgrade or that patch or whatever isn't helping the issue. That's the real issue of why it got pulled. It got pulled because what it was developed for, it runs like garbage on. And kind of like what Roger was saying, I don't see them fixing that.
Oh, they fixed it. They went crazy with it. You can multiplayer on it now. It's back up on. Yeah, No Man's Sky. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, we were still.
I was talking about Cyberpunk.
Okay.
On the same
No, yeah. No Man's Sky went back. It's on the store now.
No Man's Sky. Yeah, they really.
Cyberpunk probably not anytime.
Yeah, unless they put in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, so Cyberpunk maybe they might end up putting it back in like. But
I don't see them using manpower or resources to fix it because I don't think they can. Like they've kicked it down the road so much. I think that tells this tale. Like, what is 1 month going to do? They kicked it for months, and they couldn't. And this is what we got. Like, it was unplayable. Like, literally, it was terrible. So 1 month, and somehow it's going to save the entire game. Like, and they still have to get out the next generation version. So they're still working on that.
I think they'll
And
do a next gen discount somehow. Like they'll just say, yeah, I think you got the free upgrade anyways if you bought the
yeah,
PS4 one.
yeah.
But they'll probably
Do
do
you still
something
get a
like
free
that to
upgrade
try
if you
to
get your refund?
do it.
I wonder if you still get a free upgrade if you got your refund. How does that
Probably
work?
not. I think you have to
Yeah, I
own the
don't.
game. You have to own the game to get the free upgrade.
Maybe they'll do something to redeem it back, but just make sure, like, hey, if you get the PS5, you'll get the better version. Just focus on that. I mean, I don't know what's the point of fixing the PS4 one. I think you already angered everyone there, and you may gain some fans back, but I think like what Gaines is hitting at, I don't know the financial benefit of fixing the old one because if you do DLC or anything, you're already pushing the limits of the PS4. Now, I don't imagine it anything
mean,
crazy new you add. It's going to be harder to do.
but if they have a contract in place already, they probably have no choice.
Uh,
And they're
that's
just
fine.
gonna strip
Unless, yeah, I'm about to say,
They're
unless
probably just
Sony
gonna
comes
strip
in.
it to all of hell.
That's if Sony comes in and says like, "Yo, don't do this anymore." At that point, they still have to, satisfy all their contractual obligations. So it's like if PlayStation 4 was part of that, then it's just like, well, now they have no choice. No matter how much money they're losing out of it, they have to fix it. Unless Sony's like,
True.
all right, unless Sony comes out and is like, hey, no, axe this contract. We don't want you to even touch the PlayStation 4 copy. We're on PlayStation 5, but I doubt Sony's gonna do that. They don't want to alienate their base as much as they probably will want to.
And especially if the PS5s aren't out in the wild as much as they'd like them to.
They're probably not going to tell them to quit making it, but they'll probably just be like, do something about it. Granted, if that is a Sony thing or if that's a CD Projekt Red, not sure, but something will probably happen to it. Who knows?
Well, I hate Sony's refund policy and their refund people. They're the worst fucking humans on earth.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that is why they pulled the game from the goddamn platform because their refund fucking people suck and they're the worst. I hate
No,
you
they don't
all.
suck.
Wow.
They're
They
the
work
worst.
for the company.
They are
work
for
oh yeah, for the company.
Yeah,
they
they're
are
working
they
as
are the
intended.
worst. The
Also-
absolute worst.
That's that they want to discourage you from even entertaining the process.
Yeah. It fuck.
Oh, one of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean they do that for a lot of stuff.
I think we're done with Cyberpunk. That's a dead horse. But no, I mean, well, I guess my closing thought about I hope they fix it or do something. But the fixing part for the fours, as you all say, they're probably going to strip pretty much a lot of assets from the game, which at that point it's going to be a damn ghost town. And
People are already complaining about it being a ghost town on those.
yeah, so
Imagine. Just to have,
yeah.
just do like Destiny. Just have like Ikora and the Vanguard and then what's the other guy? The gunsmith. Just have like 3 people that just give you all the quests.
You mean that
It's
Ikora
turn
hasn't
from-
had Ikora hasn't had
Ikora's
lines in
nothing.
in a year.
Yeah, exactly. Turn it from like a bustling city, just make a bomb hit it and fall. Now take all those assets out and be like, new story on the PS4. Post-apocalyptic. There's nothing.
He has not spoken in a year almost. He has the same lines over. She gets paid well, most likely.
Silenced her voice.
I mean, when a voice actor has too much money, I don't know what else you can do about it.
Oh, there's no voice actor for her?
No, there is. It's a well-known actress. I can't remember her name right now though. But it's a pretty big actress that plays her.
I like how you yelled at me that one night for not knowing her name, which is Gina Torres.
Thank
Like,
Yes.
nah, you don't remember.
Yep, Gina Torres. That's what I was like. I remember it was like somebody that's like big name that's always doing a lot of other things, and it's just like for that kind of budget, maybe.
Well, the video game awards happened. They came and went, and Last of Us 2 cleaned up. But we got some pretty cool new trailers out the deal. We got a new Perfect Dark trailer. That you all viewed the Perfect Dark trailer? Well, all right. Well,
continue. Name off the rest of them as I sit here on Google.
I did
Continue.
my research, Keith.
Yes. What's the next one?
I did as I was instructed by Keith.
We had Vin Diesel is gracing us once more in a video game.
I watched that. I saw that. Roger was hyped. He was happy.
Oh, right. Oh, Roger's happy for that.
Oh, he was extremely
happy.
There,
I'm like, this guy looks like Vin Diesel. It probably is. I don't know what's happening, and I just stopped voting.
Yeah, it was more of, why is Vin Diesel on my TV? Why is he in a video game?
Because of family.
Oh, at first I thought it was what's that? The Fast and Furious game. I was like, man, they upped it.
Was it Crossroads? Crossfire?
Roger's the one that's supposed to review the game, and he hasn't played it yet.
Some Crossroads. No, it's way above my price range for that game.
I was like, pay grade. I was like, God.
Yeah.
Got a new Dragon Age that was teased, and a new Mass Effect, which that one scares me because it comes from the same camp. So I kind of wish it was just one or the other. Like, just only show me one or the other and just work on that one. You guys already fucked up with Anthem. Just pick one game and go.
Anthem 2.0, buddy.
And then Anthem 2.0 is supposed to be overhauled. They're a busy little group, it seems.
Yeah, you got what is it? That's 3 games. One's already in the process.
Yeah. We got Back for Blood, which is made by the people Left 4 Dead. I guess they love their 4s.
Yes.
One of the zombie games gonna die.
Why?
Good.
Well, they were kind of going down because Call of Duty was the only one I remember that was major. There's some that comes out. I forgot the adventure game on the Xbox that's actually good.
No.
Talking about Dead Rising?
No.
Yes. Yeah. No, are you talking about Days Gone? Dead's Rising or
No, Days Gone was the PS4 one.
Dead's Rising.
Yeah, I
is
can't
the
think
one
of the
on
name of
Xbox.
it. I'll look it up. But yeah, they seem to go down a lot. And then like when I saw was it Back for Blood?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw someone playing it because it seems like the beta or alpha's out now. I forgot what
the alpha
thing, and I didn't even really notice during the trailer. Like I didn't pay attention much on that one. I just saw zombies and drowned out because I was like, I'm tired of it. But I saw it and I thought I was being tricked because I was like, oh, they're just playing Left 4 Dead, and then I was like, wait, this is the new one.
They just left the Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, it's.
Left 4 Dead.
I mean, if you like the game, you're happy, but yeah, like if you're tired of the whole zombie phase thing, you're like, oh, this kind of nothing special.
Yeah, I've been over the zombie thing for quite a while, but like Ryder said, it feels like it died off some. Like it's not as egregious as it was.
Yeah,
like, everything was a zombie for a while. I mean, they made a zombie Ninja Gate, and they made what else they had? They zombified. I think they zombified. Was it Uncharted? No, it was a couple big games. They had just a lot of like
Red
zombie.
Red Dead. Yep, Red Dead.
Yeah, like a lot of games were just somehow they would become zombified. They're just like, oh my god, like zombies are not that cool.
I'll just take whatever the Halloween events that we get that have just random crap happening. And they're like Fortnite does. Call of Duty did it. I'm okay with during the season. Not really every single day I'm gonna be playing a zombie. Days Gone tried it and what happened to that game. Granted, I think that was more of them just trying to show off how much PlayStation 4 state, but
the game I was thinking of was State of Decay. That was the one.
Okay.
And the last great thing we got from Video Game Awards is that Sephiroth is in Super Smash, and he looks amazing. Anyways,
could have been Hearts maybe.
It could. They've been thinking that Sora will make an entrance into it, but
what about
in it now? Like, so I'm just saying because Super Smash Bros. Has somehow been able to like corral in a lot of licensed characters that are not like their license. So like Sephiroth, Cloud, like those are obviously huge licensed characters from Square Enix, but I guess maybe Sony as well. I would assume somehow they like co-own it, or maybe just Square owns it. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
where's
that
Square?
makes it easier.
Isn't Square Enix like a partner with?
Probably, I don't know. Disney owns everything, so
Yeah,
I'm
that's why it wouldn't shock me.
yeah. But so it'd be crazy to get like Master Chief or something, or maybe somebody from Gears or something in there. It'd be cool
Well,
to
they
have
put
like.
Minecraft in there, so that's a Microsoft.
Yeah, it's a Minecraft.
So that kind of opens it up to where you can have like that one game where it's like almost every big character you can think of, just battling it out, which would be pretty cool.
I mean, Fortnite starting to do that because they had Kratos and Master Chief in there now.
Yeah, I will say
Yeah.
whatever they're doing to basically get all those characters into their game is crazy. Got those two,
So
and
can
then
you
they
use
also got
Master Chief outside of the Xbox Fortnite version?
yeah, use on a
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Okay, I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Route. Soul Calibur.
Because I
had
looked it
that
up
stuff
with
back in the past, but-
the Kratos one because it was on PC and on the Switch. It showed up that I could pick Kratos, and I was like, "Wow, I thought this would be an exclusive."
I
Yeah,
thought so too. It did definitely seem that way, especially when they went from Kratos to Master Chief. I was like, okay, so I guess we have Xbox and PlayStation exclusives. But now I see people on Xbox playing with Kratos and PlayStation playing with Halo Master Chief. So I was like, okay. Yeah, kudos to Epic for being able to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, two brief things I want to touch on from this video game awards. I guess we'll start with the first part to it. They have an award which is Best Direction, I believe is what it's called, and they say that that award is given to the development team that had the best, pretty much overall vision / execution. And now the argument is, if a dev team has crunch time and like ridiculous crunch time, do they deserve that bid? Like, to because The Last of Us won. The Last of Us 2 actually won the award, and Naughty Dog is apparently very well known to have 16-hour days, 7 days a week type deals going down. So a lot of people were kind of upset, I guess, that they got it. But in your eyes, if the criteria for winning that award is essentially best vision and execution of that vision, does making people work 16-hour days, 7 days a week to put out a product taint or diminish your vision and execution?
I would say
Oh,
no.
right.
Yeah, I would say no because at the end of the day, the final product is Last of Us 2. Like, honestly, as a developer, no one's going to care that you crunch timed it after it's said and done after a while. Like, the final product is that. It's same for movies and all. Like, I'm sure the Avengers movies takes a lot of time and probably a lot of hours. And at the end of the day, you're just looking at the product, not everything that happened behind. Because usually you don't even see that. I mean, we hear Naughty Dog with 16 hours, but I mean, there used to be stories of other game ones that you had cots in your desk, and that's where you slept for a couple nights. So like
You also
it,
change your desk.
yeah. And so it's like at the end of the day, you're just going to end up looking at the product, especially them award shows. Like they're not going to look at the whole journey. Probably that would have to be something else, or I wouldn't even know to describe it. Like best manufacturing or something like that, or workplace, or some word like that. You would put that in, but overall, it'd be just Last of Us 2. Here it is. You don't know what really happened behind the scenes.
I mean, most of
Yeah,
your employees are under NDAs anyway, so find out in a very sketchy kind of way about
yeah.
all that stuff.
I mean, I'm with Roger. No, because if the criteria is just vision and execution, then the workload has nothing to do with those two, either of those criteria. Your vision is obviously just what you expect the game to be, and the execution is that the finished product meets that vision or exceeds the vision. No different than putting together a design package, and when you actually deploy it, it meets or exceeds, whatever the requirements were. Nobody cares, how much you work. Now, if part of it was like kind of planning or being able to schedule it good, or whatever, then yeah, I guess then that would take some type of precedent in it to where it's like, okay, well, you crunched a bunch of hours, so obviously you guys didn't kind of plan this out great. to where your resources were used, I guess, in more of a ethical or workplace ethical approach. But I'm sure that's pretty ethical working environments for a lot of developers, not only in the game field, but like Roger said, the movie field, things like that. I'm sure those are very, very much expected workloads. Like when you are on a project that big, like a Last of Us, or like Roger said, Avengers, or those big time things. It's like you probably don't come on board thinking that you're gonna work like 6 or 8 hours and then go home. Probably like you probably wave goodbye to your family like you're getting deployed in the military, but like I gotta go do a 6 month bid. About to be in Rikers, baby. But when I come back, we're gonna all enjoy Last of Us. And then your family's like, why are you still here? I want to play Last of Us, Dad. Leave. go do the shadows. Work your way up to actual character design. You knew. It's like, I'm sorry, Blake. Sorry I failed you, my son. All I do is shadows.
I'm on the fence about it, and it's kind of one of those just kind of random weird things. Especially for Last of Us got pushed back as well, and I think it was the only game in that category that got pushed back. So it was like, well, they also, I mean, granted, that could have been attributed to COVID because I think at that time things had just started to get a little crazy. But ultimately, it's just one of those. I don't know. Whenever I hear kind of like those work days, I'm like, that sucks. Like, it really, I couldn't do it. But I mean, hats off to them. Hats off to them because I couldn't do 16-hour days, 6 days a week. Like, I'd lose my fucking mind, especially if I'm doing the shadows. Like if I'm in there and they're like, "Oh, Keith, scene 56, shadows fucked up," and it's like, well, great.
I mean, they probably get quite a bit of time off after the project's over, though.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, once the project's deployed and all that, unless you got some DLC packages you got to work on.
I was about to say it's starting to blur though with all them day one patches and all. Like single player, it seems like you get a break. Like multiplayer, I'm sure it's different teams working on a lot of stuff. So the server people probably hate release weeks.
Oh, of course.
They might let them take the time off like a couple weeks before the game is launched to take a break and then come back.
Go see your families. Enjoy them. The game launches. We'll need your blood to run the servers. Just patch in.
And the last lame thing from Video Game Awards, which I didn't really necessarily understand. They took a fan vote and they wanted fans to vote for Game of the Year, in which Ghost of Tsushima is the one who got the vote. And they showed the poll, and then they gave Last of Us 2 the award. Should they just like do away with fan voting, or like I don't know. It's really weird.
It just, if you're gonna do it, I guess give it two awards, pretty much. Like you could do like a Critics' Choice Award, or Critics' Choice Game of the Year Award. Kind of like movies. When you go on like Fandango, you see like the Rotten Apple score, or is that the People score? But there's like a critic score of the movie, and then you got like people who went like us, regular people who see the movie and say, "Oh, I liked it." Brad Pitt was in it. Yay, 10. Like took his shirt off, 10. The critics who's like, the story structure was very all over the place, and stuff like that. So if you're gonna have it, then just give them an actual game award token. Be like, and you could win both. Like say they pick Last of Us and the critics pick Last of Us, then you're like, you won both awards. It's like winning the finals and the finals MVP. You got two things to walk home with. You were the guy. Everyone agreed you were the best. But if you're not going to give them any award to give out, then don't do the fan poll. It's kind of like, I guess they're scared that the fans would just vote for something. Like, obviously, I feel like that one year the Goose Game probably would have won Game of the Year.
It definitely
not a Game of the Year, but it was just like
Whoa.
Goose mania. Everything had to be the goose and
Whoa.
honk and all this damn shit. So maybe that's their fear. Is it's like they don't understand. Like we're not about to have anything like that happen, or people just vote because they think it's funny. Because people are known to do that. So
No. All my video game award votes were very serious when I was
Roger,
doing
you
them.
went through and was like, which one wasn't on the last poll? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote
See?
for that one. That's,
See?
that was your voting.
That's why it was power.
That's literally what you voted for. All right, what?
But
Last of Us 2 was in there? All right, cool.
But usually when they do fan voting, it's percentages. A lot of music does it. The video game awards, though, it's kind of pointless because I just pulled it up here. The jury has 90% and the fan vote is 10%.
Yeah,
So
you have
it's
pretty much
there where like I can't think again Korean music awards, it's usually like 30-30, 30-10. Like it's so divided that like you have a little more power. And a lot of the fan votes usually is like 30%. Not a whole lot still, but you can swing it where if you have this 90-10, I yeah, like you
really closely like battled, I guess, with the critics' vote. You know, like
yeah.
they were like split right down the middle by like 2%. You know, then it's like here come the fans to kind of, you know, kick it over to whoever is going to actually win. But yeah, 90-10 is like you're not really affecting anything. So
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because
it's
if
like
you have 61% agree Last of Us 2, like instantly fans are out.
yeah, it's like giving you the second place controller on a God of War game. Like, all right, your controller's on, it's synced. You have lights, but
Nah, Tails would have been the good comparison. You're there, just being annoying.
Well, what that leads us to our game of the year, however, whatever game. And also for those who follow our podcast, we normally do a game that we suggest. So this will kind of take place of that, as we're kind of saying this is the game that we most enjoyed this year. And obviously, if this is the game we most enjoyed, we would urge you to play it as well. So, who's first?
Go first,
me?
Roger. Yeah, Roger
I
probably
would
has
say Flight Simulator. It's a great
Oh,
game.
Flight Simulator,
Yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'll add that on there.
At least get us paid first.
which is coming
Roger.
to the Series X.
Keith, stop it. We're not being
No.
paid for this.
Oh, all right, my bad.
Well, the actual name is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Like,
God dang it, man.
but no, it's a real good game. They're always fun. You get the whole world this time. With like you could like I've flown over my house, so that was kind of cool. Just the simulation thing. Do it.
How many times have you flown to Korea?
No.
Oh, it's not out yet.
No, I've flown Japan to Japan. Like
Roger
China.
head just exploded.
Yeah.
Why did not think of that?
But no, like I flew to the Middle East and stuff like that and random places. But no, it's just cool to have like the whole world, and they update it because they had a huge update for like some cities in Japan to get more detail in the mountains. So they're adding details constantly, and you can actually learn how to fly a plane. I know a decent amount of the 747.
You.
Yeah.
Oh,
I won't be on
Roger,
that flight.
no. This is your captain speaking, Roger. Can I get off this plane, please?
Yeah, I've heard Roger stream that game many times, and all I hear is you can't find the runway on this map.
Well,
the-
see, now you know what pilots talk about while you're in the plane.
Or this big, or his another question of why is there a big flashing red button right there? Why is that flashing?
Oh, it goes off in a couple minutes. It's okay.
Ah, okay. Gains go.
Roger, Flight Simulator.
Oh, I thought it was the game we.
Wait, how can you get this? Or was it just on PC, Roger?
I actually get it through Game Pass right now, but yeah, you can get it in PC. It'll be on the Xbox, and that's a good thing too. If you get on Game Pass, you can play it for $10 or $15 and see how you like it.
So we're doing just the game. What is this, game of the year or?
Yeah, your game of the year, but
Yep.
ultimately it'll also be the game you recommend as it's your game of the year.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then I'll go. It's gonna be weird because it's short, but I just really like them. So
She say Super Mario RPG.
no. Mine is actually Miles Morales for the PS5. I mean, but I really like the Spider-Man series. I've liked Spider-Man games all the way back to the first one that came out on PlayStation 1. I think the only one I really didn't like was, I think it was Shattered Dimensions. We had like the door,
yeah.
and all. It was just buggy, and that was the only reason I didn't like it. Like you could get stuck in a building and you would be stuck. You have to reset the game. But no, I really enjoyed Miles Morales. The only thing I had against it was short. I think first time through it took me like maybe 7 to 8 hours to beat. I was going for like all the trophies you could get on the first go through, and then the second go through, just the trophies that you have to play a second time to get. The second time through on New Game Plus, I think it took me like 4.5 hours to beat the game, just going like from main story to main story point. So I hated that it was really short, but it was still a really great game, and I definitely see it probably. Well, I guess not, but it won't be game of the year. But to me, it was my game of the year. I liked how they brought in the Spider-Verse, like hip hop feel with it. I would have liked them to have a little bit better soundtrack while you were actually playing the game. I feel like it wasn't that diverse in the game, but yeah, that's mine. Spider-Verse, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, or whatever the hell it's called. Miles Morales, Black
Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Okay.
Currently on the PS4 and the PS5.
Oh, just play it on the PS5. Don't.
Yeah, just go to the PlayStation
If you get it
5.
on the PS4, if you get a PS5, you can get a free upgrade.
Oh, and don't worry about playing it on the quality mode. Like when I first played it, I played it on performance. So I did the 60 FPS for the first playthrough, and then Roger was like, "You should play it on quality mode because the interiors are a lot better. Like when you go inside of buildings and stuff." And so the second playthrough, I played on quality mode, and honestly, it's not much difference between the 30 and 60 for, I guess, a game like Spider-Man. But yeah, it looks beautiful on quality mode. Like it's definitely, I would recommend playing it on quality mode over performance mode for Spider-Man. Terry,
it's all me. I was about to say.
Pokemon, what was the new DLC called? That snow place.
The Tundra.
What if I was going to say Fall Guys?
What was your game?
What if I was going to say Fall Guys? Well, no, I can't say nothing. Nope. I've been taken out of this entirely because apparently Pokemon doesn't count.
So
anyway, I was going to say Pokemon or Final Fantasy 7.
Pokemon Final Fantasy 7?
Yes, Pokemon Final Fantasy 7, yeah.
There's
a mashup?
Yes, there's a mashup.
In there.
You didn't know? I did say or.
You got Keith all excited. He thought he could catch Tifa. He was ready to.
Well played. Well played. See that one coming.
Yeah, so it's either Pokemon or Final Fantasy 7 Remake. That's my choices, and I'm sticking to it. Because apparently Pokemon can't be by itself.
No, Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
Nah, man, you could have.
Nope.
I actually should. I'm going to go back and play Final Fantasy 7 Remake on the PS5. I want to see.
I don't think it's been updated for PS5 yet.
It's real upgrade,
but I feel like it probably loads faster.
It loads much faster.
That type of stuff. But I don't think it looks any better. But yeah, I'm sure it loads crazy fast. Hopefully, anyway. Go Keith.
There you go.
Bring us home with your wisdom.
Mine is actually a game that came out 2 years ago, but it came out on the Switch this year. But mine is Hades, that I got on the Nintendo Switch. As Roger is frowning, it did come out, I believe, 2 years ago on PC, but it came out this year on the Switch. It was like really, really cool. It's one of the very few games I played that when you died, it actually was meaningful and like had impact on your forward progression. I mean, in most games, when you die, but this one was very much, I wouldn't say it encouraged you to die, but it didn't necessarily make you feel like you were trash for dying. So, and every run through could be different. I think that was also pretty fresh, as the gods bestow their powers with you. So, you can get Zeus and Aphrodite, but you might like the Zeus Ares combo better, or, Poseidon Hermes. It's like crazy amount of combos that you can get, and really dope, very fast paced. So be ready for some fast paced, moving around, doing things. So Hades, you can get it on Steam, I believe, and the Nintendo Switch. Well, now that we have covered our games of the year, does anyone else have any other game they want to just plug or anything? Or
you know what? A game that I'm probably gonna get here. So when you just brought up the Switch, I was like, damn, that's something I should get on the Switch. But the Xenoblade Chronicles remake that they did for the Switch. If you haven't jumped into Xenoblade Chronicles, I haven't played 1. I never played 1. My first game was actually 2 on the Switch, but it was only because when the Switch came out, I think all we had was Breath of the Wild and pretty much Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So that ended up making me play it. It was a really great game, and from what people say, apparently 1 is even better story-wise. So I will be jumping into that, and I invite everyone to come play the multiplayer with me.
Well,
it doesn't have multiplayer. None of you are familiar with the game at all.
No.
Everyone's like, okay, multiplayer.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This is our 2020 wrap-up podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you didn't know, Final Fantasy VII Remake is possibly one of the greatest games of all time, and I'm just really glad that we all could get together and really talk about it in its glory.
What we gotta all get together for Christmas card.
Yes.
We've never
was meaning to message you all about. Yeah, it was me. Meaning to message you all about that to see how everyone wanted to do it this year. But that's another story for an off-air topic. Yes, off-air topic. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining in. Hopefully you're having a great holiday season, days. We're doing this live, so I forgot. Hope your days are going well. Peace, be easy, be blessed.
He forgot to say Merry Christmas.
No. We gotta say Happy Holidays.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Last year.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. All right. And we
like, fuck. We're so close to getting out of here without anything crazy.
Stream is ending in 3, 2, 1.
I forgot football games were